I think we got that just about right. But I'm still looking at my clock up here. And according to that, I've been on for an hour and I don't understand this. I cannot figure this out.
Well, you do drone on a bit, don't you?
That's not very nice, is it? Not very nice at all. Yeah, okay, we're here. It's 9 o'clock, new start time. Got a couple of really interesting guests tonight. We're going to be talking bees.
Yeah.
In the first instance, and then we're going to be talking about native domestic breeds. We're talking goats, sheep, chickens, sheep, cattle, all that sort of stuff. So we're going
bees.
To me, this is probably going to be a pretty important episode because there's some damn important things to talk about.
There are really. It's a subject that probably we don't think about too much, but I reckon, and so does most of humanity now, that really the most important creature on the face of this earth really are bees.
Yeah.
Because all life depends on bees, and we are not being very nice to them.
Well, they're under pressure at the moment. So let's bring on our can I use a pun and say our newbie, because he is quite kind of new to the idea. Mr. Lee McGrady, who's best known more for his gardening exploits than most other things.
His gardening.
And also our other special guest, Veronica, who runs the Quinta dos Templarios, which we will come to.
The farm of the Templars.
Templarios,
yeah.
Templar farm.
Templar farm.
Yes.
Wow.
So we'll talk to you both in a second. But what do you know about bees? I mean, have you ever thought about beekeeping? One of those things that ever crossed your mind?
Actually, strangely enough, yes. Because I've come to understand how really marvelous and valuable they are, and how most of humanity doesn't recognize this.
Mm-hmm.
And it shocked me really when I sort of really thought about it, and how important to the eco situation they really are, the eco structure, because without bees it all falls down.
We're done for. We're basically
done for and that's everything.
Food.
Because without plants being pollinated, right? Obviously, you could always say, well, we can eat meat, but we can't. No. Because what do animals eat? Plants.
Yeah,
mainly.
Truth. So, Mr. McGrady, sir, what suddenly made you turn to bees after your gardening exploits?
It's not sudden. When I lived in Scotland, I had a hive there because I lived in a cottage that was on bordering a site of special scientific interest, and I was approached years ago by a beekeeper to put bees in my garden. So it's not a sudden thing, and I've been here quite a while, and we've talked about it over the last couple of years about getting bees here, and I just happened to meet a guy, as you do in the bar. You meet a guy who's got bees, and it got a conversation started. So now I've got bees.
So why not? I mean, we know that bees are very important, especially in your line of work. Gardening and stuff. Without them, really, the whole thing doesn't happen, does it? So
that's a bit of a misnomer, to be honest. It's a rumor spread by people that believe in global warming.
Now we're spreading out into a whole different category here, aren't we?
I know, but no, there are other pollinators. It's not just bees. Bees aren't just the only pollinator. They're a commercial pollinator.
Yes.
Domestic bees are a commercial pollinator, but there's hundreds of varieties of bees, and they are all under threat to a degree, but it's not the be all and end all. First pun of the night. But I like the idea of having it. I like the idea of having bees. I like the idea of having a little side hobby.
Yes.
And they're good for the garden. And you're right, they are good for the garden.
Yes.
But before the bees, the orange trees were always pollinated. The lemon tree was always pollinated. So my bees just had a little bit extra. That's all.
And our other guest down there, Veronica, I didn't know until we just had a quick chat that you actually keep bees as well. Your microphone is muted again, Veronica, by the way. So you'll have to. There we go. You keep bees as well. So how many hives have you got?
Now, I
Oh, we've got a connection problem.
a native breed of bees
Yes.
that we are trying to save because they're mostly in
We're having a problem. We're having a problem with your connection, Veronica. It keeps freezing.
and visits from families. So if we have any person allergic to bees, it's going to be a problem. So
Okay.
we are not having.
Wow, that is problematico.
Veronica, I don't know whether you can hear me, but if you're having a big delay on your signal, so maybe try going out and coming back in again, log back in again, because sometimes it works. You get a delay. Sometimes StreamYard can be a strange thing. So go out and come back in again, and we'll see if that improves your signal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
So, Lee, yes, bees. Now, I've just done a whole discourse on they're under threat, yeah? And you're saying not so much. So, what's the position there?
Okay, so there are many varieties of bee as a species. The domesticated bee, the honey bee, the one that I'm keeping, they are under threat. It's due to excessive use of herbicides, insecticides, Asian hornets, lice. To get like a little lice that gets in the hive. But technically, it's a man-made structure, so it's not a natural event. A swarm and a natural honeycomb is a natural event, but we've obviously genetically engineered it for centuries to produce honey. So it's a problem caused by us.
Modern agricultural practices,
yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
So what's got to change then? I mean, how serious is the situation?
I don't think we're so bad. We're not really suffering in Europe so much. The Asian hornet is a big issue, which is spreading across Europe, but that's controllable to a degree. The mites and the lice are controllable to a degree. The mass use of insecticides should be more regulated. I've said it for years. I use it all the time, but I try to use it responsibly. So there's steps that can be taken, but whether it'll actually happen or not is a different story.
So practically then, you're looking at us in our gardens and all of that, what can we do to kind of like promote and foster bees?
Well, that's a very good question, because I was going to ask Lee this question, because back home, I mean, we're probably more used to your normal sort of buddleias and your marigolds and everything. But I don't think I've ever seen a buddleia here.
Yes, there are. Yeah, buddleia davini are just as popular here as they are everywhere.
Are they? Well, maybe I'll get one of those, because they're always good for butterflies and bees.
But again, Gary, invasive species.
True.
Not native to the UK.
True.
Not native to Portugal.
Yeah.
So technically not necessary. We've sold wildflower mix this year in 2 of the gardens where I keep the bees.
Yeah.
We used lavender. Again,
lavender's great.
Not a native species though.
Not really. I thought lavender would be native here.
It was Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. Well, it's not really Mediterranean.
Not really.
No,
the Atlantic,
there is a Mediterranean one, but it doesn't flower for as long.
Right.
So we've planted the French lavender.
So you got to plant French lavender. That's nice and simple. What else?
Well, obviously the English variety of lavender as well.
Yeah.
But there's a what do they call it? They call it a peninsula wildflower mix that we're using.
Right.
And it's actually fantastic.
Yeah.
And the stuff I did down at Tim and Paul's in their garden, because that's where I started my bee hive, my first one. It had sunflowers in it. So even though it's meant to be a native wildflower mix, it actually had wildflowers in it that don't.
Yeah, the wife's grown a lot of sunflowers at the moment, so that's bee friendly. Yeah.
Yes.
Sunflowers.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
But again, not a native species. So you've got to decide how you're going to do it.
Okay.
Well, it's also interesting what the bees are feeding on, like whether it's rosemary or.
Oh no. The majority of the bees at Carl's house, which you've both visited, will be feeding on the pine trees at the back.
Yeah.
Because pine trees produce pollen.
Of course they do. Yes.
You've seen it on your cars, you've seen it on your windows, you've seen it on the pathways. So that's going to be more of a pine honey, although they will pollinate the orange tree, the lemon trees, the apple trees, the cherry tree, and everything else planted.
Yeah, and it does taste different, doesn't it? You do get a different taste in the honey, definitely.
You do, and at Tim and Paul's, their bees are going to be a mix of wildflowers and olive trees.
Oh, right.
Because that's what's in the area. So it'll be a different taste of honey, because of the 30-kilometre and the microclimates of where they live.
Yeah.
So, they'll always find something.
So, Veronica, your signal seems to have stabilised somewhat now. So we can see you. You're not going away anymore.
Not cutting out.
We were talking earlier that you wanted to have some bees, but you've got to be careful where you are because you have visitors in case somebody gets stung. So I understand probably where you're coming from on that. But, I suppose if you could, you'd have native species of bee, wouldn't you? Any type of bee. So
is there a native bee to Portugal? I mean, a particular bee?
There is.
Yeah?
It's Portuguese and it's shared with Spain. So it's an Iberian breed.
Iberian,
and it's known for being aggressive.
Really?
But I've got now 4 cows. I've got 6 hives. I've been stung twice in a year.
It's not really aggressive, is it? Such
one of them, I was drunk and I opened the hive 4 times in a day to show people.
Yeah,
I deserved a sting.
Yeah.
Well, you. I've seen videos of you, and you've been out there in your shorts, haven't you?
Every day, your normal has got a video of me collecting a swarm in shorts and t-shirts, and just off the camera is Baby Eve holding my beer.
So Portuguese bees, Iberian bees can't be that aggressive. Otherwise, you'd be.
There's 1,000 bees, and the baby is stood 4 meters away from me, holding me beer. And I had one glove on because I was sweeping them off a tree. So they're not that aggressive.
Have you had any harvest from the hives yet? Have you had any honey out of them yet?
I haven't had any out of my personal hives. I've had some off the bee guy that I met because he's already established. So he brought me some cones up like 3 weeks ago. So I've had several jars out of the cones I produced in the kitchen here one night. But I've got to, because mine are so new, I've got to let them develop over winter.
Yeah.
And then I can start harvesting next year.
Okay.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Did you have a question there?
No, I was just going to say that, sort of moving on and back to the worry factor. I've noticed over recent years that I've seen a lot of bees sort of in a semi-death state, not looking too healthy. The amount of bees I've picked up, and I'll find them on the path or something, and I'll put them to one side and put them in the sun, or put them near something like honey or something like a sugar mix to revive them. Is there something going on with the bee population that I don't know about? Because they don't look. I mean, when I was a kid, I'd hardly ever see this type of thing, but now I seem to see it quite a lot. They look sick to me.
Okay, when you were a kid, gardens were very different, and beekeeping was done differently. So you wouldn't see it in like an inner city or in a town, or even on the outskirts of town. You wouldn't have seen so many bees. The worker bees have a very short lifespan, and what you come across might not be a honeybee. It might be what we know as a bumblebee or a rugby player.
Yeah.
And that's what most people come across. They have a very short lifespan.
Right.
So you're bound to find them in a state of distress. But saying that, if somebody's been using an insecticide on a golf course or a herbicide in the garden, that will stress out any bee that comes across it.
Yeah.
So the average bee lasts about 30 days, I think. I
Is that
might be
all?
wrong on that, but the
that
average
really?
sort of worker bee,
Wow,
they've got a very short lifespan.
I didn't know that. I've learned something
No.
tonight.
Yeah, no, they produce a lot. They work hard. They die early.
I've noticed they get attacked by wasps
rock
a
and
lot.
roll lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not wasps, it's hornets. The dreaded Asian hornet, isn't it?
Well, I haven't seen Asian hornets, but I've seen just wasps attack bees on a fairly regular basis.
Come to the party on Saturday, and I'll show you Asian hornets. They fascinate me and irritate me all at the same time. They're amazing.
No, I've got to be honest. I cannot really understand the reason for a wasp. You know,
They must have a reason.
Yeah,
Everything
of course
has a reason.
Of course they do.
no, they do attack things like aphids and stuff like that. Don't they?
The hornets and wasps are meat eaters generally.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So
I saw something the other day that the bees have now developed a defense tactic against the Asian hornets where they smother them in like a ball of bees. And basically what they do, the temperature of the ball gets so hot that it kills the hornets inside. It kind of fries them to death, really, which is clever evolution, really. So hopefully.
Unfortunately, that's not spread to my hives yet, so I'm still using a fly squatter.
Okay, so what you need to get is a diagram and show the bees.
Yeah. You need to run some courses.
A few pictures with the bees. So this is what you've got to do. Okay.
The problem is we started keeping bees a little bit too late in the year to preempt the amount of hornets in the area. But in the spring, we can set a trap with an insecticide on it that's only attracted wasps. And they go into the trap, they get the insecticide on them, and then they take it back to the nests. Mm-hmm. So next year, we should be hornet free. But this year, we're killing them by the hundreds. I killed about 9 today.
Really?
Yeah.
Because we don't see that many here, do we? I haven't.
I've seen a few.
Do you keep bees?
No.
Do you leave dead fish hanging outside your front door?
Not always, no.
It's not on a
usually sheep carcasses and that type
not
of thing.
on a Thursday, no.
Yeah.
No.
It's definitely not on a Thursday.
No, but the thing is, I know that there are hives around here. There's a few up the road there on the side of the hills, so they will be around. And I have seen them come into the pool to get water and stuff. So they are. I mean, it must be awful being born an Asian hornet because everybody hates you, don't they? Everybody's after you all the time.
For good reason.
There's another reason that your pool is full of wasps.
Well, they're taking water, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, what you should do is chuck a few of your corks in there from your wine bottles.
Why is that then?
Yeah, it gives them something to hold on to, so they can get dry and they can take off again. Because wasps aren't a bad thing.
Okay. I always associate.
Are just as delicate as bees, and they need
to
be protected.
Yeah, they're always aggressive and they always.
They're not.
On the sting.
Oh, I get
stung. They're not. They're not here. Not what
I get
they're
stung
here on.
weekly
I've been stung by wasps here.
Yeah,
3 or 4 times a week, and it's always my fault. I'm always one poking it. You've got to really make an effort to upset them. And
I'm just going to say
give you a whack, and it's your own fault.
The link at the bottom of the screen. If anybody wants to join us, have got any questions or are interested in this subject, please do. Right, I'm going to try something. I don't know whether it'll work. This mite, the Varroa mite. I'm going to try and show you a video because nobody really knew what it was. So I'm going to try and get that up on the screen. So it's tricky. It's a share screen job, isn't it? Here we go. Now this is a video from, I think it's Bayer, so it's chemicals, but it kind of tells you what it's all about. So I'm going to try and share that. Here we go. So if I play that,
honeybees fly long distances in their search for food. In their short lives, they cover some 1,200 kilometers. They collect pollen and nectar for their hive, and while doing so, also pollinate many crops. In this way, they help us produce sufficient quantities of food. But honeybees are under threat from a number of different factors, including diseases, pests, mistakes in the work of farmers and beekeepers, and even the weather. One tiny parasitic pest is a particularly major threat, the varroa mite. Once infected with this parasite, a colony will die within 1 to 3 years if the beekeeper does not look after it. Once it has penetrated the beehive, the varroa mite multiplies in the brood cells where the queen has laid her eggs. Shortly before the worker bees cap the brood cells, the female varroa mites slip in and migrate to the floor of the cell. They use their mouthparts to suck a blood-like fluid from the bee larvae and then lay their eggs in the brood cell. The young varroa mites likewise feed on the bee larvae. By the time the bee hatches, it is weakened, often infected with viruses, and has a shortened lifespan. The varroa mite can also be carried by the bee to other beehives. For example, if the bee gets lost or steals honey. To prevent this, the parasites have to be combated after the last honey harvest. For example, the beekeeper can suspend plastic strips between the brood cells. These strips are treated with a special active substance that sticks to the legs of the bees. In this way, they distribute it throughout the hive. When varroa mites come into contact with the active substance, they die and drop off. The beekeeper can see that the treatment was successful, and the bees are well prepared for the next winter.
So I'll stop that.
So the plastic, can you hear me?
I'm still here. Don't worry, I'm still with you.
The plastic strips are what I use. It's got like a specific insecticide on it. They work quite well, as far as I'm aware. But again, it's another man-made problem because a natural swarm wouldn't stay in the same place for 3 years. Where we keep bees in a hive and we want to get longevity from it. So it's a problem caused by ourselves, by modern agricultural practices.
So the question is, how easy is it to sort of start up a bee colony?
Simple.
And how do you go about it? I mean, we laughed, didn't we? I mean, when we talked about this before, I said, do you just go into the pub and there's a guy with, do you want to buy some bees?
Literally, yes. Literally, yes. That's exactly what happened.
So, if you want to start your own bees, who do you talk to? I mean, where do you go? Is there any tips for getting in contact with anybody?
I knew there was a guy a few streets away from me where I live, an older gentleman who was who'd been keeping bees for, well, as far as I know, most of his life. And I was going to approach him. But I got to talk to the guys at the pub and they said, oh no, Joachim. He knows the guy and he helps the guy out. So I started talking to Joachim. Joachim said that the guy's giving up beekeeping. So I got chatting with them both. And so he's on like a register where if there's a swarm, he gets a telephone call. So now when he gets a telephone call, he calls me and I go and collect them. So in a year, I've collected 6 hives and I started late. So I started in maybe May or June. No, maybe April. April. I might
so how do you collect these hives? What's the technique?
So you're not collecting a hive. You make the hive. The hive is the box that you keep them in.
Right.
So I make the hives. I make the frames.
So how do you collect the swarm?
The ones I've got are swarms that have come from other people's hives. So they've had like a mass exodus where all the bees have left. Eric will tell you because Eric's been on one of them. One of my own hives swarmed, and we drove over with a box.
Eric.
And I found the queen within the group, swiped her into a box. All the other bees joined her, and then we had a second hive.
Is that a difficult process, spotting the queen?
No, she's quite obvious. And to be honest, I just did like the majority sweep. I just pushed most of them into a box.
Right.
And luckily, she was in it.
Yeah.
But the one I collected in Lisbon was very different. The one in Lisbon was near the Time Out restaurant. So a really popular area for tourism. And it was on the windows of a university. And we went down. There were policemen there. They had it all cordoned off. It was ridiculous. And I was in my work gear, my shorts and t-shirt. I had one work glove on. And I just pushed them all in, and everyone else scattered, and I stood there with 1,000 bees around me. Didn't get stung once.
Yeah.
So you always think that, you know, beekeeping is a rural thing, you know, but obviously you just kind of underline then it's not. It can happen anywhere.
City centre Lisbon.
There you go. So anybody could do this, really.
When I lived in Manchester, I worked for the BBC a little bit, and I know they had beehives on the buildings in city centre Manchester.
Yeah.
At Deesgate, they had beehives on the roof of the building.
Yeah,
That beekeeper had something like 300 beehives on different rooftops across the city centre.
Good Lord. So, wherever you are, maybe think about starting some bees, because it doesn't sound like they're too aggressive, and it sounds like it's very, very worth doing, and, you know, the benefits of.
They're like everything. You come across aggressive swarms, you come across aggressive bees, like you do with dogs and cats.
True.
But I think if you're calm and you're relaxed and you're not too apprehensive, you're not making jerky movements, you kind of get away with it. Eric will vouch for it. Eric watched me do it and thought it was mental.
Yeah.
So Eric, take us through what you understand of the process.
Well, I actually was, I don't want to say I was involved in the process, but I experienced the process. There was one Sunday I was with Lee, and he got a call from his beekeeper guy, and he said, you know, we got to go get a swarm. So we went all the way down to Palmella, and we went into the garden that Lee was describing. There's olive trees, there's, you know, orange trees, there's sunflower, everything there, and all of a sudden we came across this. It was sort of like a dead tree of some sort. I don't remember what it was, but right there was a couple of thousand bees just right there.
Wow.
And you could get as close to it as I am to the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't aggressive at all. As long as I didn't make a move towards it, they were just all in this clump. So Lee and the beekeeper got the hive in a spot, and they got in position, and all they did was they took a light brush, and they brushed the bees down off of the dead tree that was there, and they kind of went like right into the hive. They buzzed around a bit, but I would say within 4 minutes time, everything calmed down, and they were going into the box. And I was like, this is crazy, because nothing like, I had never seen anything like that before. And you know, like you guys talked earlier, a lot of people think bees are very aggressive, but I wasn't concerned at all. And I was, 6-8 feet away, Lee, from where all the action was taking place, and not a care in the world. But to tag on to that, I've actually learned a lot from Lee about this whole thing since, and it's a very popular thing, I would say, in Portugal. There's a legit beekeeper association, and so anybody in Portugal that's looking to do this, or if they have a swarm that's at their house, there are places and people you can reach out to that take care of this kind of thing.
So if there are any organizations or websites that you might want to share, could you possibly put them up on the Facebook group at the bottom of the page, Lee? Could you just share?
Gary, I don't know what the organizations are. I know a guy.
Well, can your guy tell you? So if anybody else wants to get into it and find a bit more information, just
I will put it on the Facebook group at some point this week. But I was lucky enough, like we said earlier, I was at the bar. I met a guy.
Yeah.
Just by accident, which is one of the.
Well, no, it wasn't by accident. I'd asked in the bar. I'd asked about the older guy that I knew, and they said, "Oh no, he's retiring. We know this other guy." So if you go to a local cafe, restaurant, wherever you spend your time, wherever you meet people, somebody knows somebody. It's always the way in Portugal.
I suppose so. Yeah, it's somebody knows somebody, and you know.
You've already said there's some hive near you.
There is.
And
Yeah, but Gary,
it wouldn't take you more than 3 conversations to find out
Yeah.
who
Probably not.
owns them.
Probably
But
not.
Gary, you
Don't
seem to
push
have a
yourself.
plot of land that would work perfect for that. Next to where your place is there, I
I
think.
think so. I mean, I thought a couple of times, at the top of the field there, up by the fence, there's
More-
perfect place.
And more
Yep.
importantly, beekeepers want somewhere safe and secure to keep
Yep.
the bees.
Yep.
And so if you found a local beekeeper and said, look, put a couple of hives on my land and I'll take 10% of the honey, which is more than you could actually ever eat.
Yeah.
Within 2 years, you've got a constant supply of honey that you can give to friends and family, and you learn as you go. If you look interested, he'll speak to you, he'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, to me, it's just a hobby. I've got already 6 hives. To make a living out of it, you need approximately 200.
A lot of bees.
200 hives.
No, mate,
Well,
that is a lot of bees. 200 hives.
Well, I've not even tried this year, and I've got 6. I've not even tried. If I'd have made an effort, I could be halfway there. If I'd have made an effort, but I haven't. I'm limited to space, and I'm limited to time.
Wow.
So, yeah, and like I said, I've had 2 or 3 stings this year. I never wear the protective gear. I take the lids off all the time. I say hello to them. I stand in front of the hives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not that complicated.
Then I think each time we move to our guest, she'd be very patient then there, Senora Veronica. We'll come to you now, if we may, and talk about what you do. Now, I kind of know the barest little bit about what you do. Maybe you can tell us about Quinta dos Templarios, what you do and what the purpose of the place is.
Okay. To begin, just to clarify with Lee, I know that bees are completely harmless. The only point that we don't have bees at the farm is because we receive the visit of schools. Some groups are 50 or 60 children, and even when we tell them don't touch that or don't do that, they do. So that's the reason why we don't have bees. But we have a very bee-friendly practice, because besides at Quinta dos Templarios, besides having the native bird sanctuary, we have around 1 hectare of greenhouses. And at the outside part of the greenhouses, for example, we don't cut the weeds, because we don't think they are weeds at all. They
I
are
would say
pollinators. Food for pollinators.
Yeah.
So when some people say dandelions are weeds, I feel like no, they are not. So we keep all the weeds on the outside, and inside the greenhouses we plant aromatic plants with flowers. The flowers to repel some pests like mites or lice, and the other plants to attract the bees to the tunnels. So we are bee friendly, just we don't have hives because of the children. But if I have more space or other place to do it, I will certainly do it, because it's something I loved. So at Quinta dos Templarios, we have the first and only sanctuary of Portuguese breeds. Most of them endangered. There are 53 breeds of farm animals, among them sheep, goats, horses, donkeys, pigs, turkeys, chicken and bees. Most of them are endangered, and that's when we start researching about it, and we decided we have to do something to revert this situation, and we created this sanctuary. wild sanctuary, because our animals don't go to slaughter, even if they have a lot of maybe a disease. We breed reproducers. Okay, that's the aim of the farm, to breed reproducers, so people can have genetic selected animals to keep the purity of the breed from generations to come.
So
And
you're like a genetic bank for the
yeah,
animals.
we
Bring
are
going.
a living genetic bank, and
Yeah.
when we have enough number of determined breed, we sell those animals to people that want to breed in pure line to keep
So the obvious question is why have the native breeds become so rare? Why are they dying out? Is it just because commercially they're not as competitive, or is there another reason?
It's a mixture of reasons. In terms of quality, we have the pride to say that milk, wool, and meat of Portuguese breeds is among the best in the world. The problem is that they are competitive in long term because of the quality, but producers prefer foreign breeds because they get back the investment faster.
Okay.
Because the other breeds maybe give more milk a year, or are bigger, so there are more kilograms of meat to sell, or the wool rolls faster. It's a mix of things that took these breeds into extinction. But
Okay.
in terms of quality, our breeds are among the best in the world. Just they don't grow or give more babies as other foreign breeds. That's the reason why they're in danger.
So, Veronica, how did you start your interest in keeping these breeds going? What was your initial contact?
Well, I have double nationality. I am Portuguese and Uruguayan. And maybe you know that Uruguay is a very agropecuarian country. So for us, even coming from the capital, as I am from Montevideo, we have a close connection between the city and the countryside. And when we came here to Portugal, I saw like a little divorce between big cities and villages and the country. And we have a alojamiento local at the time when we came here, and I was amazed by the children being surprised about the egg coming from a hen or the tomato from a plant. They think that comes all from the shelves on the supermarket. Yes. And that was and that was when the part of teaching about how food comes to the table. But during the pandemic,
with your teaching, what do you find the most effective way to teach the children is? Is it sort of hands-on experience, getting them to interact, or is there another way of teaching children? Oh, I think we've got a freeze.
Well, no? Now you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can still hear.
Yeah. At the farm, we have contents developed for different ages. So if you go to the farm and you have a kid of 1 year old or a teenager at the secondary school, we have all the content developed by professors of science. And also we have protocols with universities that come to the farm to study and make practice classes.
Yeah.
The best way I find to teach the new generations about the risk of the extinction of our breeds is making it the journey funny.
Fun.
And
Always fun. The children
making
always
them commit with the preservation. When the visitor comes to the farm, we explain everything, show the animals that are very, very sweet. You can cuddle a sheep or a goat. It's are amazing. Our animals are really, really sweet. And after that, we take him to a greenhouse that was transformed into a knowledge, as I want to call it, knowledge center, where we have all the infographics of the different breeds, and we make games, quizzes, and other games. So when they leave the farm, they take the knowledge with them. And for the children, we do it with schools and also with the families. We ask them when they are leaving if they like the farm and the animals, if they can commit with preserving them, and they always say yes, obviously. And after that, we make it's an oath, Sophia. That it kind of we take an oath, solemn, with solemnity, and after that and after that we gave them a diploma as ambassadors and defenders of the Portuguese native breeds. Wow. So they take home the responsibility with them to spread the voice and the commitment to be aware of what is happening with these breeds.
We see, Veronica, I think we're on the same page here, because one, I've been living in Portugal now for 6 years. I've tried to encourage people to grow more fruit, more vegetables, because it is exceptionally good quality produce here. It is very, very good. Now you're doing that, but you're also encouraging people to look at farming and look at the native breeds and get involved. And as you say, to make that promise. And I think that's where the future lies with the young people. You have to start there. So I am very respectful of that way of teaching. So please keep doing that, because I love that idea. Totally love that idea. Can I have permission to go to your Facebook site and show some pictures from your Facebook site?
Yeah, sure.
It might help people understand exactly what's going on. This may work, it may not. But I will have a go. Right, here we go. Hopefully. Tell me if you can see that. More of the messages as well. Get rid of those.
Yep.
Let's go for some pictures. Right. I'm trying not to show the children, because obviously people don't want their children being shown. But maybe we got a horse here. Is this a horse or a donkey?
Yes, that's a horse.
That's a horse.
The breed is Garranus. Is the oldest horse breed here in the Iberian Peninsula. Okay. They are among us for 15,000 years after the last glaciation. And in just 100 years, men have the talent to make them endangered. So
I suppose the Lusitano has got a lot to do with this, because the Lusitano horse it's bigger and it's more famous. And we've got a little goat here. What
yes,
goat
this is the most endangered breed of goats here in Portugal. It's a Serrana from the Dasterra ecotype. It's a goat typical from Serra da Estrela.
Right.
And when we started with the project, there were only 200 left.
Wow.
Now at the farm we had 9 or 10 births. So we are very proud of that. And
well done.
This is other ecotype of Serrana goat breed, it's Charmelista. It's also from the Jarmelo region at Serra da Estrela. And to be pure breed, must be brown, dark brown, with 2 lighter stripes on the head.
Here, these stripes
And
here.
yeah, that's the stripes.
They do
This
look very
is some-
cute, don't they? Very, very, very attractive little goats.
This is a Serrana, the Serra ecotype. This is called Pimpollo. In English, it's like flower bud.
Okay.
I don't know, and it's an amazing, super sweet baby. But now he's growing, and he doesn't know that. So we will have a problem when he gets his adult weight, that is 50 kilos,
Yeah.
because he
Yeah, yeah.
comes running and jumps to us.
Oh, you
And
can
it's
see the
gonna-
stripes there now, can't you?
Those are the stripes.
Now this chap looks he looks a little bit sad
He
sometimes.
looks a bit
doesn't he?
down,
He
doesn't
looks
he?
a bit down. Looks like he's got
Down
the
on his luck.
weight of the world on his shoulders. But I suppose that's just the way they look.
This is Gertrudis, is one of our Galega Braganzana sheep. These are considered the most elegant breeds in the world, because now in this picture she's been sheared.
Sheared.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's been cut back at the haircut.
Yeah.
But during the winter, he's a very big, fluffy ball of gold. So this is an amazing breed. And
So, how would you describe the wool that you get? What qualities does the wool have?
we have here in Portugal the quality of the wool divided in 3 categories.
Right.
Sugar is the lowest quality, Bordaleira is the middle quality, and Merino is the highest quality.
Merino, yes, I've heard of Merino.
But I can say that even the Shura wool, that is supposed to be the lower quality, is very good quality wool.
Mhm.
But it's sad that here in Portugal the wool is not valued. In fact, we are now making a campaign, a race of signatures, a petition, because
Yeah.
the last place that was in charge of washing the wool to make the fibers later, the last one here in Portugal closed. So now we are not independent from foreigner countries in.
So, what's the reason for these closures? What's happening here?
I think it's a money problem. If you don't have enough wool or buyers, you close. And unfortunately, the wool here in Portugal is not very valued. It's crazy because in Uruguay, the wool is very expensive.
Yeah.
And to wear a wool sweater or anything, it's very, very good. Here now, it's kind of the global.
This is always a problem when you get an industry where it goes down. It reaches what we call breaking point. And to actually make an industry function from breaking point is almost impossible. There's a point of what we call no return, and perhaps that's what's happened with wool production in Portugal.
Which I don't understand. I mean, in winter, Portugal can get quite cold sometimes, especially in Serra da Estrela. So there must be need for wool products. So that's kind of surprising to me, really. I'm just going to do a couple more pictures here. Maybe you can tell us about what this is. This is that's white
These
grape.
White grape and lavender jelly, because our project has no support from the government or European funds. We don't have those programs, Portugal 2030 or anything like that. So our way to support the financially, the sanctuary and project is by selling our products.
So can I just get that straight? Because I think the work you do is very, very, very important, but you get no help from the government or Europe. Is that correct?
Is that correct? The only thing that we get is a small amount of money, but because of raising native breeds. But that kind of support is 25 euros by animal a year.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cover
Yeah.
a week
That
of food.
Doesn't even cover the food, does it?
That kind of support makes sense for people that grows the animals for milk or food or meat. But in our case, it's different. Our project, we are not intensive producers. Our project is to breed reproducers. So this kind of support is useless for us because we don't have thousands of animals. We have.
If somebody from the government was listening now, what would your message be in terms of helping you in terms of finance? What would your message and your appeal be to a person from the government looking at this program?
I will say that the preservation is a mission, not for a person or a group of people. Is responsibility for all the Portuguese. And we are making a job that most of the associations of producers can do, because we breed. There are a lot of breeders in Portugal, but we also make the teaching part and make the commitment part that is not being done. So I will say, if they want to support a project that spreads knowledge about our genetic heritage and our country heritage, that is part of our culture, I think they should support a little more.
I think I have a question from Eric.
Yeah, you mentioned that you're breeding these animals that are reaching extinction, right, on your property at your farm. As you do that, are you then able to distribute them to other people that you know that are committing to protecting these animals and reproducing as well, or do you keep them all on your own?
Part of the project is to breed the animals that are our animals come selected by the breeders associations, the producers associations. So we can say our genetic is the best. So when we breed, we know that those animals are perfect according to the pattern of the breed.
Right.
We don't keep them all because that is not preserving and spreading the word. We breed them, and when we have animals for giving, we sell them. And for people that wants to start breeding in pure line, that's the important part. It's not mixing them with some foreign breed or anything, because we need to keep the purity of the breed.
Right.
I think I have another question from Lee.
Yeah.
Why? Sorry, without sounding too offensive. Why do you think it's important to maintain the breeds that are no longer financially productive? It's an issue I've had with many farms in the UK who keep specialist type cows, and they really struggle to make money on it. The animals that you're protecting, for a better word, they are technically man-made. They're not a natural species like the Iberian lynx, and the Iberian wolf that are a natural occurring animal, you're protecting an animal that's been bred for a reason, and it's not longer necessary anymore. It's like an old car. You know, is there a reason you want to protect them? Is there a reason to keep them?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the last part.
I think Lee was saying is that what is the reason behind protecting the older breeds, which are not commercially viable anymore? They're not. Why do you need to have to protect them?
They are commercially viable, and they are part of our biodiversity.
Well, you see, this is the issue I've got in the UK, because I've worked a lot with the guys in the UK that do this, and if they were financially viable, they would not have gone out of fashion. So there are other breeds of animals that are genetically manufactured, because let's face it, a Hereford cow isn't a natural animal.
My daughter, that is a veterinarian student, will
explain this part. She will explain this part.
Yeah. Let's talk to your daughter as well. Let's bring your daughter on. What's your daughter's name here?
I'm Sophia.
Sophia, can you come on camera? Can we get your face in here, Sophia? Can we say hello?
Hi.
Hello, Sophia.
Hi.
What is your opinion on this? About
the thing is, even though some breeds may not be as commercially valuable as foreign breeds, they're still commercially valuable, just not as much as other breeds. They're not genetically manufactured. They are actually breeds that are naturally their native species. So as the Iberian wolf is the same thing. They appeared here naturally, no human made them. Okay, so they are natural breeds, and if we lose those breeds, it's the same thing as losing the Iberian wolf or any other animal. You lose genetic variability. When you lose that genetic variability, the species you have left, there's more inbreeding. Like, you start breeding the same species over and over and over and over again. And when that happens, you keep losing more genes and more genes and more genes, and more species go extinct. And when more species go extinct, that means the next species will go extinct too. So you're just losing genes, which doesn't really make any sense.
I suppose the point
is that not the idea of agriculture from the beginning? Because we no longer have the native wheat that we had in Europe.
Your internet, I think your internet connection.
We have a different variety of wheat. Is that not the idea of agriculture to start with?
I couldn't hear you. I don't know if it was your internet or my internet.
What we're saying is we're with modern farming, we're building in genetic weakness because of its monoculture and its selection on certain breeds and strains, that there is an inherent weakness in that. And if you carry on in that vein, you are going to increase all sorts of genetic problems. You do need the biodiversity to strengthen a strain, to strengthen a breed,
Exactly,
because
yeah.
that's good.
I mean, plus the fact, if you are dealing in original livestock, older lives, yes, it may be more expensive to buy or to have meat from or whatever, but it is different from what you can buy anywhere else.
Exactly.
At least you have a choice.
And our species too are more. Oh, sorry.
The American bison has had a massive reintroduction effort made in the States over the last 15, 20 years. And that's now pushing into Canada because they're running out of open ground. The only way it's financially viable is to sell the meat. But there's not a market for it because it takes so long for it to age and develop, and then harvest is difficult. So I've always felt that these projects of maintaining heritage breeds have all been a bit of a flop. I understand maintaining wild genetic lines like the Iberian lynx, which has been a great.
But what's the difference between between a lynx or a wolf and a cow or a sheep. They are animals and are as viable as
I
other.
wouldn't let a kid pet a wolf. It's a natural wild animal. Any animal that's on your in your petting zoo is not necessarily a.
It's not a petting zoo, first of all, just to say that. And second, yeah, they are sheep and cows and goats and everything. But these animals were born here, even before humans were here, so they're not genetically modified or anything like that. They were here before us, so they're not manufactured animals. They're animals that were here literally before us. So they're wild animals.
The important thing is to have that choice between what you can buy in a supermarket, which is the same as everything else, and then a choice to buy something which is different.
It's a bit like the rainforest, isn't it? The rainforest is getting burnt down, and we are losing genuses of plants and strains of plants all over the place, and we don't even know what we're losing.
No, before it's gone.
Technically, it's a man-made thing as well. If you go back, but
well, I think what the girls are saying is they're not. They're actually pure.
I get what they're doing, and I admire them. I just want to know what the financial benefit was, what the end goal is.
It probably isn't.
And a good reason to maintain them. That's all.
It probably isn't finance, which is the primary reason. It's not the driving factor. What probably is the driving factor is biodiversity and strength.
Yeah.
And to keep these lines open, because if just like the rainforest diminishes, you don't know what you're losing.
It's gone forever. You're never going to get it back.
And somewhere, in some way,
you start losing the breeds you're talking about, the more financially valuable breeds. If you keep inbreeding those breeds, at some point you're going to need another breed to put in there and breed in between them to create more genes and more genetic variability in order to keep those breeds. So even if you don't want to breed them in pure line to produce anything you want, you're still going to need species that are adapted to the Portuguese climate and the Portuguese geography. Because if you bring a Holstein cow, for example, a Frisian cow, a milk cow, most of those cows here in Portugal get sicker faster and easier than any Portuguese cow. Why? Because those cows are adapted to, Netherlands climate, not to Portuguese climate. Each country has its own climate, its own geography, its own breeds. And those breeds are adapted to that country specifically. So even though they might not be right now as commercially and financially valuable, which is not, in my opinion, the main point here, you still might need them. If you have other breeds that are commercially valuable that get sicker, why would you keep breeds that get sicker and die faster when you can have a Portuguese breed that's already adapted to the country?
It's more hardy.
That was the answer I was looking for at the beginning. That was the sort
there we
of
go.
Right. Well done.
Yeah.
So we're talking about hardiness, breed sturdiness. Really, that's what I'm saying. And that like you say, one of those horses has been here for 15,000 years.
Yeah.
Probably before we were doing too much.
It's quite an old horse.
It's quite an old horse, really.
And the landscape has been shaped by those animals as well.
Exactly.
It's the same as the cattle we have in the Lake Districts and the cattle we have in Scotland. The landscape is shaped by a specific type of grazing style.
Yes.
Right.
So not only are they going to maintain the breed, they'll also maintain the environment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is a big point that really is like the more important point.
Well, that is a fantastic.
When you lose stocks of sheep in the Lake District, the environment changes. The trees
that is a great point, because you're going exactly where I want to go now, because I was just going to discuss. There was a bit on the television today about all the fires in Portugal, and the land being uncared for, and people were saying maybe if we had more goats, because goats will eat most everything, roaming the Serra da Estrela, roaming the parts where they normally would have originated from, maybe we wouldn't have as much in the way of fire as we do now, because they would naturally clear the land. Well, and I think that is a great idea.
Technically, goats are not a good idea.
I know they eat anything, but
because they destroy everything. But in the UK, recently we've had a release of the Eurasian bison, which has only been extinct for less than 2,000 years. And I imagine the Portuguese horse and the Portuguese cattle that used to be here would have done a better job because they're more selective for what they eat.
But I think in a situation like where it's got to a point where it's overgrown, and I've seen it myself, goats will take down a piece of land rapidly. So maybe there is something in looking backwards, if you know what I mean, going backwards in history.
That's actually being. Sorry, Lee. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. It's got to be more of a balance, Gary. Because the goats will eat everything.
Yes, but you've got to do it intelligently. You don't just throw a load of goats out there. Obviously, you just don't do that.
The bison and bigger animals tread it down, and they compact the ground. They move the soil around. They destroy destroy seed heads. So they do the same job, just in a different way.
Can't see bison coming back to Portugal now.
That's actually kind of being done here in Portugal now. Even we do it too. The release of goats in certain areas to eat certain weeds and stuff, so they clean those areas too. But yeah, a lot of years ago that wasn't even necessary because goats were roaming free because that's their environment, so they were already there. But with the advances of the people building houses and stuff, obviously that was lost. But nowadays it's actually starting to be done again, and it's actually working where they do it. There's been less fires per year, which is great too, and goats also fertilize the land, so it's a lot of pros actually.
It's a good point there, because if with the fire, it normally starts at ground level, doesn't it, where all the weeds are and all the bracken and all the stuff. So if that is not there, the fire
probably won't start.
The biggest part of the issues they had with the reintroduction of vultures and the reintroduction of the cats and the encouragement of wolves is to maintain a small mammal population. You know, so you're looking at mice, rabbits, hares. They all do that same job, Gary. You've seen it. You've seen it yourself living in the UK. A rabbit and a hare will eat. It takes 4 rabbits to do the same damage as a sheep.
But I think if you go into eucalyptus forest, it's almost dead. There's hardly anything in there. It's just like quiet.
Again,
but a goat will probably go through there.
Invasive species shouldn't be here anyway.
No, it shouldn't. But we have this problem, so we have to deal with it in a certain way.
Yeah, but the goats and the sheep aren't invasive species. They were literally already there.
They were. So. Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Same thing with the bisons. I mean, you mentioned the bisons. I think in the UK, we have a similar project here in Portugal called Rewilding. Maybe it's the same one. With the bisons, they actually freed a herd of bisons in Vale do Cor a couple of months ago, and it's working great. So yeah, it's not just about one breed or one species. I mean, it's a work between brackets of a lot of different species that work together in order to make that work.
That's what my pushy question was about earlier. It's about not just doing it as a gene pool, but doing it as an environmental benefit. Because that's the bit I know about.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I like to throw pushy questions out that challenge people. Okay.
What was it? That developed a great conversation. That was a really good conversation.
I know, because I'm a great guest, Gary. I don't know.
Well, there you are. You're very modest as well. So going back to.
I've not swore, and I'm still kind of sober.
Well, there you go. I want to go back to Veronica. Where do people find you, and how can they help you? How can they?
Can I just say good night before you do this?
Okay, Lee. I'm here.
Can you hear us?
Can I just say nobody wants to find me, nobody can help me. Okay, so I don't need any other time.
Obvious, right?
I'll see you all at weekend. Good night, buds.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Lee.
Good night.
I think his little daughter is calling out for him, so he's got to go. Evie, beautiful Evie's calling for his.
We just came back. We couldn't hear anything that just happened. We just saw Lee leave. So
no, he's got to go because his daughter she's tired and she needs to go.
Oh, okay.
She's only young and she needs a pie. Yeah. So, guys, what you're doing is very important. I love it. How can people help you? And obviously, they want to come and visit you. So, can you tell us a little bit how to find you and what you're doing to make the project bigger?
Me? Okay. So we have our social media. That's the main way we have to communicate with other people. We have Facebook and Instagram too. We're starting to build a website to
Okay.
sell our products too. Those jellies and jams and liquors we have too, and we have a lot of products to sell. So yeah, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. It's Quinta dos Templarios, the one you showed. And yeah, to contact us in order to visit us, it's via social media, mail, or phone number. It's all listed on our social media too, so anyone really can see it. And yeah, when we build our website, we'll put it on our social media too, so people can go there.
Well, can you guys do me a favor? You see the address scrolling around the bottom now? That is the Facebook group for Central Portugal Connection. If you have any events or you want to advertise something, please put it on there. Please tell us what's going on. If you have a product to sell, put it on there. That's what we're all about. We're here to help. We're here to spread the word and tell people. Now, I think people need to know that you are near Tamar somewhere if they want to come and visit. Is this correct?
Yeah, we are in a place. It's near Saint Solus, where the festival is. I don't know if you know that festival. It happens once a year. Okay, it's about 10 minutes away from the center of the city, so it's pretty close. It's pretty easy to find too. It's on a national road, so you just write Quinta dos Templarios on your GPS and you'll go straight there.
And are you open every day or just selected days?
No, we're open every day. We just need to know if someone's going, so you just have to send a message or call us or anything the day before or a couple hours before in order for us to know you're going to be there and we can go open the gate, because obviously we're working at the farm too. So yeah.
Do you know, there is an idea just came into my head here. Eric Nuno and his scouts, I bet they'd love this, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. No, I think you hit on something there for sure.
So I will.
We actually had the scouts from here from Tamar. They visited us a couple of months ago. They were here. They spent the whole day. Yeah, it was great.
We have a friend from Lisbon. He likes to go out with his scout group. So you may be hearing from him. I'll give him your information.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
He would love that. He would love that. And one other question. I just saw a little on your Facebook site there. Wellness days.
Yeah. Wellness.
What was that all about? Can you tell us about that?
That wasn't organized by us. That's a market that happens here in Tamar every year, and every participant goes there, and it's all about wellness, everything related to wellness. So we go there and sell our products and talk about all these natural and Portuguese breeds and stuff like that. Yeah.
Great. So where else do you visit to sell your products?
We go to a market called Tomar Alternativo in the municipal market every third Sunday of the month. We'll be on the Bravo market this weekend, actually, too. And we just go to any market we get invited to and we have access to kind of try and sell our products to finance the project, because we have no other form of financing it. So, yeah, we just
this is what I find incredible. I really do, that there is no other place in Portugal that is trying to keep these breeds alive and these genetic strains. To me, it's like a criminal act not to help. Yeah, if you understand what I mean. It's very short-sighted. You understand? It's not a vision.
It's not forward-looking.
A forward-looking. It's I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
I think, knowing in Portugal now, they support so many different things to do with culture and tourism. This should be more important that what you're doing.
Yeah.
It should be put out there to people to see. This is, the history of Portugal. This is what we used to do. This is what we used to have.
Yeah, because that has a tourist dimension to it also.
I wonder, we have a monthly market very close to us called Amigos.
Yep.
Amigo Market
In Alviasra.
in Alviasra. There is one at the end of this month. Maybe I should send you some details of that, because you get a few visitors there, and obviously a lot of expats, a lot of extranjeros, and they sell
Muitos estrangeiros.
muitos estrangeiros, and they sell different products. But I think it'd be a great place for you guys to come and just
to
have a little
interact. And
See, Gary, I think it's about building awareness also, not just
absolutely
necessarily selling something, but you're providing information that and
that's
awareness of the things that people have no idea that this is even an issue, right? So if that's another way of expanding the awareness of the issues, the problems. I did have one question though.
Yes.
You're dealing with species that are becoming extinct, right? How do you find out about these species? Like, I don't even know how to ask the question, but you have several different types on your farm right now, right? I'm sure there are many others that are in the same situation, we'll say.
Yeah.
Right. How do you find out about these other ones that maybe you don't have now? You know what I'm saying? And how do you bring them into your loop?
Right now we have, I think, 14 different breeds right now, and there's 53 recognized breeds. There's breeds that are found almost every year or every other year. There was a cow breed that was found 2 years ago in the Azores Islands. So that's still happening. There's still Portuguese breeds that haven't been found yet, and people are realizing now, oh, that's genetically different to everything else. So we have to keep it and preserve it. But about those 53 breeds, there's actually an association. It's not really an association. It's the GAB, DGAB. It's the direction, the general direction of veterinary and alimentación and feed, or something like that in English. Is a DGAV, and they are the ones who recognize every breed in joint with SPREGA, SPREG,
Portuguese Society of Genetic Resources.
And those two associations, they recognize certain breeds as native species, and then they add them. You can find it in the internet too, to this kind of, it's not a book, it's a catalog of every single Portuguese breed. And what we try to do is every time they find a new one, we try to contact people who have them. So right now we have only 14. Obviously, without financial support, we can't really bring every breed at once. So we bring them as we can, obviously. But our objective, our main goal is to have all of those breeds that are recognized as native and be able to preserve all of those and breed them. Everything we mentioned right now, but the best way to know which breeds exist is via that catalog. You can find it on the internet.
And if they are the actual number of animals, you can find it at the website of SPREGA.
SPREGA.
Yeah, there you have how many males and females are left in each breed.
Well, you're obviously doing massively important work here, more than I ever thought, and I respect what you're doing greatly, and I will help you as much. I will help you as much as I can to make people aware. Maybe with your permission, maybe we could even come down and do a little bit of video work, if that is possible, and help you out that way. So if with your permission, maybe we can do.
Our internet stopped working. We just started hearing you now.
Okay, I just said that maybe we could come and do a bit of a video down at your farm, just to help your cause, because it's important. It's important to me. It's important to Portugal by the sound of it. And obviously, I'll share the information about the markets which we go to help support whatever you do, because it's massively important work, more important than I thought, because I've learned such a lot tonight. And I will do everything I can to help
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
So normally I will always aim for about an hour on this show. never once yet.
Your aim is so far off.
I've
It's
never
like-
made an hour once. So again, we are now at 1 hour and 19. So we've gone way over the top. But what a fascinating discussion tonight.
Yeah, it was.
So enjoyed it. You've been great guests.
Yep.
Lee's been great to listen to, and I've learned something, which is more important.
Yep.
So I would love to share that with as many people as I can, and I will try and do that. So thank you very much, everybody, for your contributions and your questions and your explanations. It's been great.
Yeah.
Anything you wish to add to that?
Me?
Yes.
You've said it all. Other than your English is superb. You comprehend perfeitamente seu língua de English.
Thank you. Your Portuguese is good too.
No, it's not. Don't lie, man.
Demasiado simpático. Muito obrigado. É difícil. Sempre difícil para mim.
Yeah, it's difficult. We had to learn it too. When we came here, we didn't speak Portuguese. So
Yeah. You did very well.
You did-
Very
did
well.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I will let you go back to your lives and your important work. And thank you very much for joining us tonight. And hope the word spreads rapidly.
Yeah.
Thank you very
we will
much.
do.
Excellent work.
So,
Thank
thank you
for
very much.
inviting us to.
Thanks,
no,
guys.
thanks for coming on. It's been great. I'd love this. I knew this was going to be an important program. I just felt it. So I'm very happy.
He felt it in his water.
I did. My water was churning. Okay,
Thank
I'm
you
going to
very
end
much.
and say good night to everybody. Ciao,
Ciao,
ciao.
ciao.
Bye bye.
Look out.